It's time for change to move into the real work of the universe. And it's time to understand that we use the matter state to reach the level of understanding of the soul of the man. Now you understand maybe why the Creator has sent his messengers in the name of whatever you have had. Is that they bring the ears, that it can be used when the time of the Messiah comes. They can teach the soul and the message, not to oppose. But by them understanding through those who have become Messiahs, to give from their souls to these to elevate, the job is made easy. The school is there and the students are devotedly there. Then there won't be any fight between what they call the Muslims and the Christians. The lamb and the lion will eat and sleep in the same nest. The Christians and the Muslims will sleep and pray in the mosque and in the same church in the name of their souls, not in the name of religion that is used to create so much conflict for the benefit of those who were the hyperactive children. The time has come, the time of change is here. And as I said, my wish is my command. If it's your wish to see peace, the path of peace is laid very clearly. It's the soul of the collective awareness. By giving will create that position of change. No other thing. There is no pen in the soul of the man. And I'm sure once you go into the universal community, you will never see anything written but the balance of the fields of the soul of the existence. Try to be humble enough not to become arrogant in the power that you have understood and you possess. Otherwise, you'll fall in the same path of the church and the mosque. This is what we promised, and this is what we have delivered. We have to understand the operation of the soul, and we have to understand the soul of the man is a star in the cosmos of the universe. If we compare the soul of the man and many of us, 7 billion in one collection, Earth is like a galaxy with so many stars. When we look in the depth of the universe, we see galaxies with hundreds of millions of stars in it. So is the planet Earth. It carries 7 billion beautiful stars, which are the soul of the man. Carries with it soul of so many trillions of animals, plants, and everything else. So if you look, when someone who does not see the physicality of the earth and its content, what do they see? They see a galaxy with so many beautiful lights shining, each one according to their strength, each one according to their position. An infant has a beautiful soul, so has the old man. To those who do not see the physical dimension of this planet, but they see the strength of the field, we are a clusters of stars. The human race, every single soul, no one from a distance sees that's the soul of a fisherman, that's the soul of the cosmologist, that's the soul of the president. They all shine irrespective of the physicality. This is the magic. This is what the new science has to bring to man. When we look through our soul, we see nothing but we star in the other souls. And this is the break. This is the understanding. This is what all these teachings are about. Coming to mature to the next level, to understand in the deep space, the universe is the oyster for those souls who serve. Then man is ready to go into space. Then man is ready to become part of the universal community which has been promised. I never promised you heaven. I always promised you the elevation of the man to join the family. And now you have the key. It's you who has to open the door to understand, if I can raise the soul of these people or millions of other souls, that the physical life on this planet changes, then I'm worthy to be part of the universal community. To be there to serve, to expand, to be there to be part, that in the cycle of life of universe, I become, in being part, I become part of the totality. When man reaches that point, a new dimension in the strength of the soul of the man will appear, which is beyond imagination of understanding of the physical life. It's the gate to the opening of the new life, in a new dimension, which is beyond imagination of what you might call a new beginning, a new cycle, which that cycle carries with itself the origin of the creation of life in the universe and in the universe. It's the elevation of the soul to serve become the key, not a throne of the physical life. The time is right. The time has come for the man to go through this process.
Welcome everyone to the 49th One Nation, One Planet, One Race for World Peace. It's Tuesday, September 18th, 2018, and this is a broadcast from the Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute, Public Education in English. My name's Rick Crammond. I'll be your host today, and as always, we have Caroline Keshe as our main spokesperson today. And I'm happy to start the 49th One Nation, One Planet, One Race. It's a lucky number, I think, and an auspicious beginning for this session. Caroline, are you ready to begin?
Yes, Rick, and thank you. And I welcome everybody to this new start, new beginning. It is a beautiful journey. We all had a nice pause, I hope, a deserved pause, also to refresh more different topics that came along the path of this nice summer path. I think at least I can speak for Europe. They had a lovely hot summer, sometimes a little bit too hot. I hope on your end you had a lovely summer too, Rick, and to so many other knowledge seekers which are on the other sides. It was a wonderful journey this summer. Did you enjoy it too, Rick?
Well, it was a little overly hot for me, and at times, and actually it was smoky for most of the summer too because of all the forest fires here. It was quite an event. It was the most smoke they've ever had in a season. So it was interesting, but very nice summer. Yes, it was sunny almost every day here.
So you had part of that nice warm heat as well. I think it is always a sign when you have a hot summer, hold on to the grass because you're going to get a harsh winter. That we still have to wait and see because autumn is approaching and it's still quite nice in a lot of parts of Europe, and it is a pleasurable time to still spending time outside. And I hope you all enjoyed the break to refreshen your minds. And who would like to bring the first topic on the table that would be desired to open up the doors on the path where we are going to take this journey? Anybody, any questions or suggestions or stories to tell what was on their path?
Do you want me to open the public wish document to have that up, or do we wait for that?
It can already be up, no problem. Anybody in particular that wants to open? Because it gives you a good idea the direction we will go. Anybody?
Mashfaq, can you hear me?
Mashfaq?
Yes.
I thought I recognized your voice. Welcome.
I'm trying to recognize mine, but let me get my headphones set up.
I recognize that bicycle horn in the background.
He always comes with the bells.
Bells and whistles, yeah.
Okay, so anyway, so hope everybody had a wonderful summer.
Well, actually, even this is Southeast Asia, so we also had a somewhat hotter summer, or well, shall we say, kind of like extended, the heat extended for a longer period of time. And we still, it's fairly hot right now, actually. So we are kind of like, right now it's about 35.
That's pretty hot still.
Yes. So, yes.
What is the lowest temperature you're getting?
In summer?
No. Going out of the sun.
Okay. Well, it would be like around 15.
Can you position yourself where you are so people can have an idea where you are?
Well, the location I am in is what used to be called the Bengal area of India. And when India was together before the Second World War. And I'm on the east side of it. And Myanmar is on the southeast corner of us, and part of India is on the northwest corner of us. The region used to be Bengal, and about 1,000 years ago, it was a big trading partner with China. So during that time, many of the trades between these two sort of like dominant culture in that region happened quite a bit. So this is the part I am from. We speak Bengali, and that's about now between India and us, we are about 250 million Bengali-speaking people, I would say. And so it's in a very small area, but the number is that. And then there is a region surrounding this area, and even within this area, where the people speak Bengali, but there are dialects of Bengali that they use, which I don't understand, but they understand me. So there's that element there as well. So India has a lot of languages, and in a way, you can think of Bengali is, I think, the closest language to Sanskrit right now. And as you move as you travel west towards Persia, it's a continuum, really. The language slowly changes from Bengali, and I'll just mention the main languages. India, it would be Hindi. I can understand a large part of Hindi, actually, although I never learned. So, and then it becomes Urdu, and, in due course, it becomes Persian. And we have many words, Persian words in our language as well. So it's a very interesting, you can't say that the language changed from one to the other right here. It's kind of like a continuum that goes from one place to another and slowly changes from one village to another. Anyway, so this is one interesting thing about all these languages. They're all in the Indo-European family, the same language, Persian included. So, and the Persian poetry is also popular in this part of the area because there are many great Persian poets. Anyway, so this is an interesting thing. That's so I'm just giving you some summer tidbits, but
thank you.
Yeah. So but because of this density of population we have, and the tropical climate too, we have a lot of common diseases, and this is one of the things that I am looking into, because we have a lot of very fantastic techniques which are headline creating in terms of curing many difficult disease. But here I see many situations where a lot of people are suffering from very common ailments. And we have been able to do some work with the plasma technology in the area of dealing with common ailment. And as it happens, this year at this time, dengue fever or dengue, I don't know what is the correct pronunciation, I've heard both, is becoming more common. So we are treating dengue fever right now. We have several cases we have treated. So we've been very successful at doing this, because this is one of those fever that can cause death. And there is no known cure or any way of mitigating the situation when one gets dengue fever. I know Africa has it as well, but it is fairly common here because of our friend mosquitoes are all over the place. So, but in general, fevers, stomach problem, and virus-related situations, which can be mild fever, the kid cannot go to school. Even I know some of my students have tried doing they're testing plasma water at the onset of coughing and sneezing, and it seems to, in many cases, it seems to have stopped it very early on. So these are all common situations that we encounter here, and I'm sure it's not just here, in many parts of the world. And so in our attempt to treat these, we have, and the words are getting around, partly again because of the density of the population. And a fair number of people know about us, and we continuously have people coming and visiting us for remedy for more involved situations. But in some cases, I address them personally, or my sister, who is also fairly good at this. We do it, but my focus is generally to do common things. And common things include dengue fever. And then the other one, which we did last season, which we about 3,000 people or so. Roughly, this is our estimate, because we would give a bottle, in like 3 to 5 people would drink from the same bottle. So we don't really know exactly how many people got cured from it. But generally our estimate is about 3,000 or 4, and in total about 4,000 or 5,000 people probably have treated by now. And this includes, there's another one which is also fairly common, is some sort of lung problem, breathing problem, asthma-related stuff. And those we have seen very good recovery using the breathing technique that we have. And we have a very simple solution using a bottle. And we don't have as much experience, but we probably have about 100 people in this particular one. But we know people who used to get they used to get oxygen from hospitals, or I don't know exactly where you buy these things here, but to get their breathing going, and they have stopped. There is a number of people who are using this, have stopped using that, and they're completely cured. So and these are things that are very interesting in the sense that it's a solution that affects a lot of people, and interestingly, and it's also helping us getting known. And so our public teaching, a lot of people are coming or listening at least. There's been some downloads, and usually, although there may be just one person listening, actually there is a whole group maybe listening huddled near the phone or laptop. So this has actually if you even multiply it by a factor of 10, I think it's much more than that, but you have a lot of people. And so the basic idea is to how can we reach more people at a faster rate. So we had a discussion about various projects that we are doing in the Universal Council regarding what can we do to make this known. There are various suggestions we are on the table, we are discussing, and I'm sure we would like to hear some more as well. And in terms of making the solutions known, and solutions can be anything, agriculture, although from what I gather, energy sector is a little more difficult, and this I have personally examined the situation as well here. And I have actually a fair bit of access to the power production industry because I'm an electrical engineer, and my friends who used to be in the college, now they're in fairly good positions and all that. But, it's fairly difficult to even talk to these guys, They like me, but still it's a difficult situation. But health, on the other hand, is a little easier to approach. But we will get there because, people are seeing that it's being effective. So one of the things that Carolina suggested last time is to use the bottles in the triangular formation that we have in the star formation to extend the range. And one of the things, I have tried doing dynamic reactors, and I know it extends the range, but even the static reactors, from what I gather, can go quite far or connect up quite far. So this is one of the things that would be very interesting, because considering the density of the population we have here in this region, or others and other places as well, it might be a useful thing to try. The only thing that it was preventing me from testing some of these things is that you need people to monitor the situations. So now we have students, and especially interestingly, what's happening here is that we are attracting the younger generation. So I have a lot of students that are very young, from teenagers to young adults, in that range. So, and they are eager to learn, and some of them are very eager to learn, and they are interested in saying, yeah, we can do the monitoring and testing and all that. So I have talked to them. So this is something we will probably proceed very soon. And so one of the interesting things that I did not know, which is a very useful information that others may be able to use very productively, is the range of these. Even a bottle may connect up over 3-4 kilometers. So this is even without any kind of dynamism to it. So this is something I think may be useful in extending or the range of solutions in many areas. So now I'll also get back to some of the tests I have done locally. This is not necessarily with health, but we use balls in my roof garden. I have tested balls with CO2 and CH3, GANs and GANs water, both. I've tested both. And they have a ratio difference, so it creates a field circulation. There is no connection, but it creates a field circulation. And it is affecting the plants. It not only affects the plant, it seems that it is attracting birds. And the one that I'm not particularly fond of is that it is also attracting insects. So the plants are going better, and the insects are also more active than before, and the birds are more common. They're also trying to get their beaks on the plants. So, last, I think the last, I'm not sure, because we were in the break, and I forget everything when breaks happens. Is that I talked about that this field was affecting the performance of the car in the garage. So this is another interesting thing, is that this extended field or field flow can affect more than one thing. I'm not sure about the humans, but I'm around GANs, so I don't know what effect it has on me. But nevertheless, we can see that one of the neighbors' tree is growing better. So it's going beyond the area in which this field is circulating. So, and there is no wiring; it's only just GANs. But the distance is like, let's say, 50 meters from each ball, on average, from one ball to another. And so this is an interesting experiment, but we can now extend this, as Carolina suggested, not only in health, but if we have a situation where there is a village and we are doing in a village, then we can do also growth of various fruit trees or vegetation or even crops. So we'll see how all of these transpire, but in general that extends the solution to a wider area, and they don't necessarily have to know, but the word of mouth will get around, as we are noticing. And if they see tangible evidence of things changing, then I'm sure the word will get around even faster. And so this is one of the areas I'm bringing it up because, you know, some people maybe may see other application or use of this area. Of course, one can use a motor with the reactors, dynamic reactors, but it appears that we can do it without motors. It doesn't have to have any mechanical or a power source. We can do plasma-based, completely plasma-based, and extend the range further. But that, you know, I have to do a few more tests before I can say anything about that one. But we're looking into that. But but I don't think it's that far away anyway. And Mr. Keshe has indicated as well that the Chinese reactors are going motorless. So, and I think it will be soon. We'll be extending this range from 3 to 4 kilometers to a lot further. And so I see that this, even in our limited context of the students that I have in the public teaching I do in Bengali here, that would be good listening posts for conducting a large area experiment involving several kilometers. And we are also experiencing some, you know, students are coming from, there is a group of people in one of the villages that's, let's say, about 30 kilometers from here that has heard about us, and they have bought a lot of our stuff. And so that village might be our first satellite in terms of if we can, either we can make GANs there and start from there, or we can try some of the dynamic setup. It's remained to be seen, but that will take a little time to mature, and we'll see. But there are people there that are interested. They haven't started yet in our public teaching, but mostly it's technical and setup issue, and it takes a little bit because it's a remote village. So this is what we are planning on doing. We'll see how it goes, but things are looking positive in terms of having a longer distance type of experiment once we have some of these villages becoming active participant with the teaching and experimentation. And some of the students, you know, and this is I live in the capital city, which, you know, many people come here to or to work. So, and some of these people go back during their holidays to their village, and, you know, that's another way that the word is getting around to the remote villages. And so, and some of them are giving it to their parents or grandparents. And you know, grandparents, they usually gossip in villages and, you know, talk about, and, you know, if they have some problem. And I know that there is one person who was, there was a thunderstorm, and lightning hit the ground right very close to her. And since then she had pain in her leg, and the pain pad that we have has cured her. So this is also, this created a sort of like a stir in the village. So I hear stories like this. So we have this kind of very common day-to-day life situation, common problems, which is common, you know, everywhere. And since some of my students are young, they play soccer, and they have built their own pain pen. And now when somebody gets hurt in soccer or cricket, these are the two most popular sports here, they administer them, and, you know, and then you know, people take notice of it. So this is another way that's spreading. So it's kind of funny how it's spreading in a very day-to-day lives of very ordinary people, which I really like, because it's happening at a very grassroots level across a large number of people. And the young people are very excited in the sense that, you know, they're learning something new, and some of them are extremely intelligent, although some of them barely went to school. So it's quite amazing how this is going, and I try to make it as simple as possible, so that most people have access to it. And I have a new student who is about, let's say, 9-10 years old. So it will be interesting how he does it. So this is the youngest, I think, youngest person who is interested in getting involved in it. So we are doing, things are sort of organically happening in a very interesting way. And but it's progressing, and we'll see. And if we can get rid of many of these common problems, so the general health situation over a large area can get better. So this is more in the sort of plasma physical level. And of course, here we can also think in terms of engaging at the soul level, which is, we are bringing it up in our teaching, but it will take a little bit for it to kind of start taking root. But we ourselves, those who are listening to this, the knowledge seekers and others, can engage their own effort in this direction, so that a project like this or any other project that we, Universal Council, are trying to initiate, or others, anybody else can do it. I mean, it's not just Universal Council, but anybody else can initiate, and we can contribute towards these from our soul, and the planet will change very quickly. And I'm fairly certain about this now that I see it happening in front of me. And I do have some experience in doing it more at anybody? I hear some background noise. Nothing is happening there. Did anybody ask anything? No. All right. So not in a sort of like a wider scale, but I have done the soul level type of approach to various things here. And so if we can broaden this application, then we may see the result, or things coming into fruition, or the projects springing up and sort of gushing forth, to take the analogy of springs, and everywhere, and with an ease that might not be otherwise there. So these are some of the summer thoughts. Heat does wonders to your head, so and you have a lot of sort of slow times, half napping, dozing off. So things come, and then you do some of these things, and things materialize slowly, but it is happening. So anyway, these are some of my stories of the summer things. And does anybody have any question or any suggestion? I would be happy to hear them.
First of all, thank you very much, Moshfaq, for sharing as a council member. The only thing I would like you or request, and Rick will be glad that this comes on the table. If you could please not use the word cure, but reverse the condition, that would be more acceptable in the terms of the Keshe Foundation alphabet or language, as you call it.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'll remember that. So
that would be very nice. Thank you. Anybody, any questions for Moshfaq, please?
I'll remind our attendees, you can put your hand up and I can allow you to speak or promote you to a panelist.
The reason, if there is nobody there to ask questions, the reason to be explained in the guidance of to give the people, especially the people which have start getting more and more students, like Mosfak, like the Polish, like Dr. Gatwa, or people which are more working in the field, which have come and going people as knowledge seekers walking in and out, or attending workshops or giving workshops. When the idea came to me with the picture of the anatomium in Brussels. I remember that picture because when my parents were very young and my dad was under arms that time, he was about 17, 18, they came and met in Brussels, and the picture was taken under the atomium. And that kind of image just made it so much easier for me to explain that if you have one point from where you departure, let's say Mosfak was the center point, or Dr. Gatwa or Pete or so many other knowledge seekers, is that every time one student or each student that leaves, or the one you are giving or handing or transferring knowledge, to give them in simple water bottles, the Gans waters, but formed as a star formation with the amino acids with it. They don't need to be big. So a small drinking water bottle is sufficient enough, but when they carry it with them, yes, thank you, Rick. You see, it just goes and finds, and wherever they place it in their home, it just keeps on multiplying, because from there it gets traveled to another point. Then that point comes back to the main point, or to the first point, or to the before point, and then they're getting reached or handed out again, the star formation in small water bottles. If they can simply take them home and position them, that's how you make the link and the bridges. And then you don't have to even worry if they're higher or lower in the position where they're going, because people are living in different conditions. Some live in apartments, some live down in the villages. So you start covering more and more and more areas. If I have heard correctly, I think Dr. Gatwa has about 300, 400 students in one session. And you can imagine if each member takes a star formation in its full simplicity home and just place it, you can imagine how this goes to the beyond and beyond, and it just keeps on growing. Because as Mr. Keshe said, we already released them in the waters. We released them in the fountains. We put them in our gardens. We have given them, handed them out to so many others. But those main points of actually carrying the star formations in such a simplicity will create that image which you see here, which just gonna keep on expanding and expanding. And Mosfak is the first one who has started giving the feedback, because the part of the soul teaching which came with this was, or the understanding of it, is that Mosfak just didn't appear out of nowhere, just making overnight one decision that this is the structure he's going to build out. This is what he's going to do. He became, or he walked in as a knowledge seeker, and then he started obtaining the knowledge. And then the higher part of the knowledge came to the teachings of Mr. Keshe through the soul teaching. Then you can start with the acknowledgement that all this sprouted out from, let's say, Mosfeq, because he was the first who went there on purpose with this kind of mission. Now he's bringing back how much response he's getting back. But the main point and the main purpose is that he's the creator of all these conditions because he made that decision. If you go onto the soul part, that's the giving part, the sharing and letting it travel. And the more he acquires self-confidence in what he's doing and how he's doing, as he confirmed, I see more and more and more confirmation. It grows very slowly. But once you get that view that it is confirmed, and then the other one gets confirmed, and then that one gets confirmed, it just boosts you to expand your fields more. So with the explanation of, with the picture in front of you, how to expand, which means that Mosfeq, because he's a Universal Council member and he's supported by all the council members, because these topics are getting discussed quite enough in the meetings, that he's the creator of this expansion. And the more and more he acknowledges, not to become arrogant or not to become hot-headed or whatever, no, but through the soul working that he can reach and he's in touch because it sprouted from his part where he started it. That's how we will elevate, and that's how we are elevating all the ones around us, which is so clearly explained in, if you listen to the video of the introduction of the Universal Council, you can follow the path of the threads of what Mr. Keshe has taught. I gave the same advice to Dr. Gatwa and so many others, which are knowledge seekers not only, but also teachers among the Universal Council members. And then you see the work growing. But the most beautiful thing is when you acknowledge that you're the creator, as Mr. Keshe has explained in the soul teachings, and you take that challenge up, now you can see how far, because Mosfeq just brought more information that it reaches beyond so many distances. So what was first thought that it would be only a few hundred meters, he is already talking about kilometers. So now you can imagine what and how it can grow. And I requested Rick to put the starter of the wishes on as a template to add the wish, what would Mosfeq wish for us all to support. Because that is on soul level, where we start, I am present. Mosfeq, do you have a wish?
Yes, the wish, I phrased it during my last part of my talking, is that those who are listening to this, they would engage their soul in such a way that this is such a project of reaching a lot of people and helping them to be healthy, and plants and other life forms as well. I don't know.
So what is your real wish?
My wish is that they become healthy and all the disease go away for all the people here, and the plants and fishes and bugs and.
So you're in reality, you're asking us to support you to balance your environment, no matter what is present.
Yes.
If somebody can type it out, I do not know who has.
Yeah, I'm just working on that now. I was trying. So we need to clarify. We can start off with my wish is that, and
balancing.
wish is that balancing. My wish is that balancing. Can you
my
continue on that? Okay.
The environment around or my local environment, and local can be of any scale.
Okay, my wish is that balancing my local environment.
So such that all life form live peacefully, healthy, and with good health and peacefully. And that's right, but you know, something along that line.
Well, you have to formulate it. It has to be exact
Okay.
from you. So
okay.
You can. It could be anything, but we have to define.
Okay.
So let me just go. My wish is that balancing my local environment such that all life forms
live a peaceful, healthy, and harmonious life.
Let me see the first couple. My wish is that balancing my local environment.
My wish is to balance my local environment. Yeah.
Okay.
Is to balance my local environment such that all life forms.
And wouldn't it be better to end that all life forms?
And yeah, that's good.
Or
does the balance of the environment come first and then the life forms live a peaceful, healthy, harmonious life, or do the life forms live the peaceful, healthy, harmonious life, and that's what balances the local environment? So should it be hand or touch?
That's why I put such that it goes both ways, you know. So I didn't know which one to. It's chicken and egg kind of situation. I think both are related, both ways.
Always confirm, and you always have to have the purpose for it to serve.
Yeah.
So where is the confirmation?
Yeah. The second part.
Okay.
The first part is the balancing, and the second part is the confirmation through specific.
Okay. And what purpose to serve?
That's the second part as well.
Okay, we can always come back to it if it can be or changed, or if something comes to your mind, you can always call it back up and adjust it. No problem. I'm present in the first wish.
I am present. Thank you.
I am present.
I'm present.
I am 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 present.
Rick,
I am present.
Rick, if you could add, UC Bengali, so we know to where towards this wish is going.
But it's not for just UC Bengali, it's for UC Bengali's locality, which is the whole planet.
I know. But you are the point of reference from where it starts. It's your wish. So we are only expanding your wish. Wherever it travels, it's not limited.
Okay. Did you mean to put it at the end like that, Caroline, or in
Yes.
the actual sentence? Okay.
No, fine. Because we have learned to put more details onto the wishes so we can refer or people can find their way back to where they came from and the purpose for it to serve. Thank you. Thank you, Moshfaq, for sharing. And I know very soon we will receive more information from where you are in that beautiful part of the world.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Does any other Universal Council member has anything ready to be presented, please? Who's ready? Pete, are you ready? Or you're not free yet?
Yes, I'm ready. Hello.
Thank you.
So this is really to take, I should probably introduce myself. I'm Pete UC, a member for the Polish language. And if I can find this, here we go. So what I'm showing on the screen is the replication box of the food tower. And what I placed inside it is a little picture of a house. So when Mosfek was saying about placing all the 4 basic ganses together with their amino acids into a star formation, it immediately comes to my mind the food tower or the replication box, where we apply the same 4 basic ganses in order to replicate whatever food or other substances we want. So really the idea we've seen before at the slightly different scale, at the slightly different level, applicable to slightly different problem or application area. Where right now we are talking about doing it on a bigger scale, about a bigger picture. So what you can see here is doing what we are doing to our homes, so having the star formation with 4 basic ganses that we use in the appropriate proportions. So if our area is known, our street, our neighborhood, what you can see on the left is known for malnutrition, or then we can, for example, use more of the CH3 guns to sort of feed people at this level. If there are some conflicts or the area is not very stable, we can load up more of a zinc guns. So we all have sufficient knowledge in order to adjust these reactors to fit the needs in our neighboring area. And the same we can give to our neighbors, to our colleagues, friends who live nearby, to do exactly the same, to put up these guns balls or guns bottles, basically static reactors, as we were saying, and to place them in their homes as well. And in this way, we extend the coverage, you can say, area of this little device, of this little application of the star formation. And if we can imagine what's here on the right, if we can imagine doing this not only locally, but doing it globally, such as we try to do everything in the one race, one planet, one nation platform. Like here, we have UC Bengali, we have Dr. Gatwa from Kenya, we have other UC members from all around the world, Germany, Norwegian, Polish, and so on and so on. We have a lot of languages, yet not all the positions are filled in. So at the sizing and opportunity, I would say if your soul chooses for you to serve by becoming a Universal Council member and representing a language, you can always apply if the position is open. So that with this very simple, very basic idea, which application we've seen, for example, as I mentioned earlier, for the food tower, here we can extend the fields beyond our house. We can collaborate with others around, with others in our local neighborhood, but also others around the world to create a peaceful environment, an environment rich in whatever are the local or global needs to satisfy these basic needs, basic emotions, which don't let us sleep calmly, which worry sit in our head, worrying us from day to day. Satisfying these basic needs brings more balance across the planet. And this is what MOSFEC idea is about, and this is what also this platform, this One Nation, One Race, One Planet movement is about, to balance the entire planet, the entire soul of this planet, to bring peace and create the conditions, the environmental conditions. This is the subject of many of Mr. Keshe's teachings lately. He puts a lot of emphasis on the environment, on the conditions we create, because the environment decides on the physicality of a given entity, which unwinds the plasma, which unwinds in this environment. So which is very much like a balloon. If you have a balloon and you take it very high up in the mountains, obviously the pressure inside and the size of the balloon is going to be different than what it is on a sort of ground level at the sea level. So it's the environment that decides on the form of the physicality created as we perceive it through our senses, as we see it around. So it's very important to be in balance, to create this balanced environment everywhere. So that's all from me. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Pete. Universal Council member for Polish language. Is Dr. Gotwa present?
I don't see him in the list.
He's not there yet. Does he? He doesn't have teaching, does he? At this moment.
No.
No. He will pop up. Usually he comes in maybe a little bit later. Is anybody else in the council ready to bring their part forward? I see Ursula is present. Ursula?
Hi.
Hi.
To all, I'm Ursula, Spanish. Can you hear me? Because my connection is very unstable. Maybe it will break down. Can you hear me?
We can hear you. It's a little bit quiet, but if you speak into the microphone clearly, we should be okay.
Yes, I'm very close to the mic, but I have not connection. I just moved new home in Provence, and I'm working with the neighbors' Wi-Fi, so can break down at any moment. What I will to share with you is what happens first with myself, because 2 months ago I didn't know where I want to move, and I found a house incredible. When we wish something, it works. It works really. I have proved it so many times. And this time is amazing what happens. I showed some pictures to some, and I will share it on my Facebook page when I have good connection. And this is really the meaning that the first we need to do is to fill our own cup. And when it's going too fast or too difficult, or when we are a bit exhausted about situation, the first thing we need to do is to feel good now, at the moment, and rest, and work with your soul. Your soul guides us in every moment of time. And I will write my story down because it's very, very incredible. And when I go away from Antibes is a 80,000 population. Here is only 4,000. Very simple people, very kind one. I got my 60th birthday with new neighbors. And I got very miracles. For me, it's evidence that all what we wish arrives. You need only to wish and really to feel it in your belly and not have fear, because it comes to you. Much beautiful as you can imagine, and it works. In my house, I will create a little school, a health school, and of course, plasma will be my best tool. In this place, there are many cancer problems, many people who are sad with family problems, and very critical one, very polluted water. And I know that I'm here for something. 2 months ago, I didn't know that I will be here. And it's a magic that I am here. A very beautiful house. And I have a double garage where I can make my own laboratory. And I always needed others to, because it's much time and I'm not very technical. I am naturopath, and my focus is on applying the water and nutrition and health. And I got many, many miracles. My dog, I tell it to you sometimes ago, he got a cancer tumors the size of 2 eggs. And I went to the veterinary, and I asked him to work with me to learn about this teaching and the doctor's teaching. And he had no time for this, so I do it by myself. And it works. He has nothing more. He is a beautiful dog in good health, and I will share all what have been done with him. And when it works on a dog, it works on everybody. And now I can show it, and I am aware of what is happening. I'm studying 3 years ago now, and it's just amazing what happens. I closed my enterprise in Antibes, and now I will work with an association. There is a forum here in the village with very much other beautiful people. And all this is amazing, because in my association, the treasurer is engineer, space engineer also in Paris, very interested of this science, and we will spread out this knowledge. Of course, it's in French, but it doesn't matter. There are so many beautiful knowledge seekers in France waiting for new initiatives, because this, as in every country there have been misunderstanding and misguidings. This is a very simple process, and everybody can do it. It's easy, very easy. And then, of course, sometimes some people don't believe or find it strange, and we need to work on the approach to the simple people. There are very much who want to be better and have a better life as they have. Many are suffering. For me, it's very important here, as the most of my knowledge seeker Spanish are on the other side of the Atlantic, to work with local distributors, and everybody can buy a kit for collect guns and do it and show how to do it. I will do it to show them how to do it. And of course, my approach is the nutrition. It's my work, it's my passion, it's my background. And this is my side, what happened to me. I will share with pictures on my page when I have my Wi-Fi. And what happens with Spanish is so amazing also, because they are all coming up. They get more confident. When you are quiet and you are in health and in confidence, and you are spreading out happiness and gratitude, everything around you is going better. And so my knowledge seekers Spanish group is amazing what it happens, because also with all this information we got, who to reach for this or this case, they are now autonomous, they are more secure of what they are doing, they are applying to become teachers more and more. And we got this last 241 knowledge seekers from last 30, Spanish coming up. He will certificate this week. You can see it, it's Miguel Lahac. It's amazing what he's doing. He is now new teacher in the Knowledge Seekers Workshop, get the most of the time. And it's really amazing what happens, what we are showing, what we are doing, and what we are being. Even those who was a little bit agitated and with some problems, own problems, are going better, because they come out of some addictions and some problems. And I'm wondering how beautiful this knowledge can be for everybody. And this is what we will show to you and to all of them who want to see what happens in the Spanish sessions, as and all others so beautiful one when you know this language. Confidence, self-confidence is the most important we can have. Fear is the worst, because when you have fear or doubts, we cannot advance. And the first to have in confidence is yourself. This is very important, because when we are suffering, there's always a reason for that. And when we come into us, and when we speak with our soul, our twin soul, you know now what happens. And you be quiet and you close your eyes. Things are coming, colors and ideas and happiness. And you feel, you know, this happiness inside without reason. There's no reason, but you are happy and you spread it out. And then you start to creating your world, your place, and all what you dream to create it in your life. This was my experience, beautiful experience, even if the before my move has been very exhausting. So this is my share. And I know that we will work very much this year with knowledge seekers and also with the Universal Council to share all this better and easier. And this is my great wish in communication and in sharing knowledge. Thank you to all for listening. And if you have some questionings, I'm here to respond.
Thank you, Ursula. Anybody, any questions?
I see that Peggy mentions that, thank you, Ursula. You have shared my vision, and Peggy's vision is for the, what she calls the Keshe Foundation Visitor Center and Preserve. And that's kind of the idea of setting up these oasis areas, you might say, in different places around the planet and interconnecting them. Peggy mentions we are all little KF visitor centers and preserves wherever we are.
Yes, and we are all one and we are equal. Only some a little bit more awake than others. And the most important to have with us is simplicity. And all what means arrogance has no more place in what we are doing. And this will be beautiful, really beautiful. I feel it, I'm living it, and I'm so happy to share it. And I will take notes and explain exactly what happens in these months of September and Août. It was a very hot summer, very hot experiences, but everything is right. And everything is much beautiful as I couldn't expect. In every topic, in every case. So when we have confidence in us and confidence of also in our teachers and our foundation and our brothers and sisters and all this fighting we saw some years ago, and Spanish are very specialist on this case, but okay, it's finished, almost finished. Oh, there are some.
Well,
thank you.
Yeah, we missed just the last part of the sentence there, I think, Ursula. But otherwise, your internet held up quite well and quite clear. Thank you.
I think we lost her. She might come back on.
I think her message got through quite well, so we're...
Yes, I would like to read a message from Hassan Halal. It's in the chat room. I moved 2 months ago from Senegal to the Smiling Coast, which is Gambia, a little in the south of Senegal. I wished 20 years ago to be in this south side of Senegal, and now I'm stuck here. And as Ursula says, your wish is your command. Just feel it deep in your heart. It is so simple and comes to you with practice and trust. I met a man who offers to work on 100 by 80 meters without wanting something in return for it. It's amazing. What told me to move 2 months ago, my soul, God bless you. And then he wrote another part a little bit further. He owned the land and don't want a penny of whatever I will garden on it. And it is the first time we meet. I just give him a paint pen for a knee pain. And by talking, I told him that I can garden. And he straight offers his land, which has already a well for me to start working. Thank you, Halal, for sharing this. It is a beautiful message as a confirmation to so many wishes that are coming true for so many people when your heart and your wish and the purpose to serve is in the right place. As we all start understanding, it needs a purpose to serve. Caroline Priller, are you present to share something of your vision as a Universal Council member for Germany?
Yes, hello, Carolina, I am present.
Thank you, welcome.
Welcome, everyone. Welcome, everybody. I'd like to thank all people who are working very hard to make everything happen and to make everything better every day, on daily basis. All the knowledge seekers, all the councils, everyone who is giving his or her soul to this mission, to this task. And I'd like to especially thank all the German-speaking area, all the people in the German-speaking area who are working very hard to do their jobs and to do all the teachings and to concentrate on the foundation and the new programs and the new website and so on. It's cool and amazing to be part of this movement, to be part of this soul. I would call it soul. It's a big soul consisting of many different little souls, or how can I say? It's a merger of souls being one as one big soul, and I like it a lot, and it's really amazing to have the possibility and the chance to live in times like this, and everyone can change some things every day. So you can go step by step and you can explore, and when you have explored one thing, then you can go on further exploring other things. And yeah, it's a cool road, and we don't know yet exactly we are heading, but we know it in general where we are heading to. But it's very amazing to experience all these different things on the road and while doing it, and also learning a lot of new things and developing new things. So it's great and cool to be part in this road on this trip. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any other council members present? We'll wait and see where more council members are going to come up. The knowledge seekers which are present here, would you like to share some of your vision or experience, what you have had in the last months? How you see things unfolding for you personally, like Halal just shared with us?
We have Pia with her hand up, and
okay.
Let's see what she has to say. Hi, Pia. You should be able to open your microphone and go ahead there now.
Hi. I just came and saw that mic was there. Okay. My name is Pia, and I'm from Denmark, and I would just like to share some of my ideas I had this summer. And I also want to thank you for what you're sharing with all this joy, and it's really nice to hear. And I have been looking into the newspaper you have made, the Plasma Times. And I also want to thank you for that, because there's really many good informations there. And I certainly came to an idea during this hard summer we also have had here in Denmark, where all the soils are dry and the plants need water. And so when I heard, I think it was 1 week ago, Mr. Keshe, he was talking about the way we could approach the government more. I was thinking about how we could do more about the polluted waters we have and the polluted soils. So I just thought maybe we could collect, maybe there already is some projects in place. But I was looking in this newspaper and I saw, I was reading about the Fukushima decontamination solutions. So I would just like to ask if there already is some systems in place, or could we collect people to make specific, very, like you talked about, Ursula, simply systems that we could apply. For example, at the what you call it, water works. Is that the way you call it? The waterworks all around the globe, actually, but also just in our country here in Scandinavia, we had problems with the soils and the way we have been doing the farming during the last many years. And it must be coming up right now, because I heard in the newspapers just 2 weeks ago, they talked about 2 nights in a row from the mainstream media and the TVs here in Denmark. They talked about that they actually found out that the drinking water we have is much more polluted than we first thought. It's like they're starting admitting for the public that actually our drinking water have been very polluted for a very long time. So I just thought maybe we could really do something about it and collect a group for the plasma work for the water systems, also for the farmings, of course, how a way we could clean up the polluted soils like they did in Fukushima. And also, I really imagine we could have a little system connected to the waterworks all around the local areas, so people can start getting polluted water. Clean water. And then I actually got an idea too when I saw the ideas you presented from I think it was Portugal, for the feed systems or the systems you could place in every home. Maybe we could also collect this idea with the waterworks in some way. It's just to open up the idea to really get some systems down on the ground, and then we could present them for the governments and for the local areas too. Yeah.
Thank you, Peter.
Yeah.
With what you're asking, the simplest way to have immediate effect with the water wherever you are is just place the 4 ganses as a first star formation in simple, tiny drinking water bottles and hang them in the wells or place them in the rivers. As the water is passing, it is taking, or it gets influenced by the field strength from the star formations. Doesn't matter how small they are. That's exactly the point which Mosfak just confirmed, that there is no limit on the field strength. It's going to go beyond and beyond. And because we already poured water or GANS waters in rivers and wherever, any knowledge seeker, they are already connected. It's just to make it more intensive. And if you want to participate in those, then place the small star formations in the rivers on a rope somewhere where you know it doesn't matter even if they have found and people, they cannot harm nobody. Just place the star formations in the waters, in the rivers, because you give them a permanent position, it works. Something else came to our attention, and that is that a lot of people brought a topic up with smart meters. The best way to deal with smart meters is to place, again, a star formation. If you can't and you don't have access to all the GANS waters, to make a small star formation is to make or get some nano-coated copper wire and fold it into an infinity loop, which means it looks like an 8, number 8. You position that around your Wi-Fi systems, around your smart meters, as many as you can make, and follow the line from before they enter the house to where they actually come into the house. You can place the same things around your water pipes. You can also position the GANS water bottles in the same way around your water income to your houses. The people which notice that they have seen those huge masts coming up, we call them the GM masks or G5 masks. They have different names in different places. They are supposed to support the Wi-Fi systems. Apparently, there are things that are start getting noticed on the fallout of the radiation which is released by these masts. What you can do, which is very environmental friendly, is to protect your water wells because they're usually very near position to those masts. The agriculture gets affected. Strange diseases start occurring in the crops or in the trees or in the whole environment. What you can do on your own without having to bother nobody or without having to trying to convince or get the support which you needed to eliminate these kind of problems is simply get some electric cables. If you can strip them from their plastic, nano-coat them, but fold them and hang them on a hook in the trees, in the bushes, or around the houses, or around the water wells, if you can't position your GANS waters or your star formations. They absorb the fields which we are not so happy with, or the animals are not so happy with, and the trees are not so happy with. And especially also, it goes down into our water. So you have a lot of different solutions which you can make by yourself. And when you go walking, you can just go simply hanging them around. You can hardly see them when you hang them up in the trees, but make sure that the copper, nano-coated copper wire does not touch the branch of the tree, because the tree does not like that high intensity of field strength. But you change the whole environment, you balance it. So this is one of the journeys that a lot of knowledge seekers can do by themselves. If you are nearby a tower like this, you can protect yourself very easy by hanging the infinity loops around your house, on the floor and on the ceiling, or in the attic or in the basement. Don't place them on your bodies, please. That's too close for them to absorb the fields. They don't do you no good. If you remember what I just said, that the trees, the branch literally dies off because the field strength is too high, then you can imagine what it does when you put them on your skin and close to your body. It is way too heavy. Put them away. They absorb before the fields reaches you. And that's the best way to deal with infinity loops or any nano-coated material. I've seen a lot of knowledge seekers making jewelry out of it and wearing them very close to the body. I please do advise it's not a good idea. Hang them as a jewelry around your house. They will serve their purpose much better than when you carry them on your body. Also, if you cannot and you have Gans waters, just position the 4 Ganses in small drinking bottles in front of the windows around your house. They are supporting it as well. Does anybody have any more questions in regards of that? And yes, Rick, it is beautiful what you're showing, and people can find a lot of answers in this. That's why this is going out, and you can find more details in the teachings, and the knowledge seekers among themselves know exactly where those teachings are taking place. So you can always find your way back and listen again where it all started and how it was explained for you to find your path. You can also go to the Wikipedia, which is amazingly growing. I do thank for every single knowledge seeker which comes and puts their effort and time voluntarily in there to make it to grow more for different languages, different topics. Don't hesitate to share, please. It is beautiful work. We cannot say enough thanks. It is absolutely beautiful. So as we have a beautiful still autumn period in a lot of parts, don't hesitate to take your things with you on your walks and be very generous if you can. Thank you.
And the
Carolina?
other thing I mentioned, just want to mention quickly, is there is the agriculture and health teachings that are private teachings that for professionals, the pro people that are qualified to be in those classes. They're also available for doctors and professional agriculturalists or professional farmers, you might say. So that's another aspect, and that's where some of the details of the Keshe teachings might come out that might be, misused by people that aren't qualified to use some of these techniques, maybe on a mass scale or have a farm to manage or that kind of thing. So that's another avenue that's open for those that wish to follow that path.
Yes, we are inviting people which are curious, which want to explore more or are already well into the knowledge to come and participate as teachers or support the private teachings to do some research or share their findings with our research teams. You're more than welcome. We're also looking for ghosts, translators, transcribers to support everything. You're more than welcome to join the teams. We're also calling, and the message has gone out to the Universal Council members, to call up on knowledge seekers to, if they're not sure, to become a Universal Council support member. Because then we can add your knowledge to how you can be linked to more specific what the council is looking at in problems and to find solutions so that we have more teamwork as we are growing in members. Support members are more than welcome. And as knowledge seekers, you are so valuable. Please acknowledge and don't hesitate. Don't be scared. You are more than worthy because you're already a giver. We can use your talents and we can definitely use them as support in our teams to go on specific tasks to support the whole structure. Thank you very much. Yes, Peggy. I think it was Peggy.
It is. Welcome back, Carolina, Rick, and everyone. I am so grateful that everyone has come back home. I missed my family. Carolina, the thing that you brought up about keeping things close to our body, that was just specifically for the nano-coated wires for the jewelry. Is that me breaking up?
No, we hear Peggy clearly. I do anyway, Caroline. Maybe you check your connection there.
Okay, I'm back balanced.
Okay, good.
Sorry for that, because I just prefer to check if it's me or if it's on your side, because I can't tell.
Yeah,
that's true. I'm the same way. Thank you, Carolina, for checking.
Thank you. Sorry for interrupting you.
No, quite all right. What my question was, is you were discussing the jewelry, for example. Is it just the nano-coating copper? It's not so much the small vials of the GANs, is it? Or the small vials of the plasma waters from the GANs. It's the nano-coated wire. I just want to be correct. Is it okay to have the small jars without the wire of the GANs and or the waters, or both, or none? Thank you.
No problem. First of all, GAN's water should not be carried on, let's say, 24 hours or days on end on the body. You use it for a period of time, 1 or 2 hours, and then you have to remove it from your body. You can take it up again 2, 3, 4 hours later and use it again for 1 or 2 hours or half an hour or 15 minutes, depending on for what purpose you're using it. Never keep anything permanent on your body. There is no need for that, because whatever you have learned making patches or GANs waters or nano-coated material is the understanding for what purpose does it need to serve. Nowhere it says that you have to wear it 24 hours a day. It always has to be in a dynamic form, which means ratio that it can work like a dynamic to release its energy. So 2:1 or 3:2, it always has to have that dynamic. Never use just one GANs just on its own. Try to go deeper if you haven't understood or you have not, or you were not there, to go back. You will find it in our teachings. You will find it in our presentations. We call it dynamic, which means the energy needs to be able to flow. Never you wear nano-coated material on your body. It has to be away from your body, because you have to understand also again the purpose. What does it serve? Why is it there? So if you have missed it, no problem. Just go back to the teachings or to the knowledge seekers. They will be more than happy to explain why and how. If you remember, and for a lot of you people, winter is coming, is standing in a few weeks' time, we will start seeing it appearing. So maybe I can explain it this way, that you can even apply through the medical or in the health or reversing You spray the left side of one wall with CO2 GANs water. You leave a strip in the middle not touched by no GANs, that there is a complete separation. And on the right side, you spray the zinc plasma water on the wall with some zinc in it, no problem. The opposite wall, you spray with CH3 GANs water. That's how you create the dynamic. The CO2 goes to the CH3 goes to the zinc, and it just keeps on rotating. We found out that you can make a difference up to 3 to 4 degrees in your house. And at the same time, you can place nano-coated plates of copper on your windows or any kind of material you can get your hands on. Nicely nano-coated copper plates or wires, hang them on a string in front of your windows. You create the dynamic you wish to balance and to save more energy to keep your house warm. But the way and why it's working is because you have created the dynamic, the CO2, separated from the zinc, opposite CH3. You do not use CO GANs water.
Carolina.
Because we work with the field strength. Yes, Peggy?
I was just going to say, thank you. This is all, if my brain, my physical brain would have been more correct at the moment, it makes total sense what you said about the jewelry, because I know we don't leave the patches on all day. I know we don't, you know, our bodies, when we drink the different combinations of waters, it expresses itself. So of course we wouldn't want to hang something on us 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. But I didn't even think of that. So thank you. You know, these little nuggets that you bring forth, my dear, you are a phenomenon to me. Thank you.
Thank you, but I'm not a phenomenon. But I have one thing which I realized myself years and years ago, is that I pay attention to detail. I notice things. And somewhere, somehow, maybe at that time, I told quite a lot of knowledge seekers, don't do this, don't do that, please refer this, remake your pens, they are not going to function this way. But they still carry on. So for whatever purpose that they wanted to serve, that's okay, that's fine. Nothing is ever wrong in the wrong, but they must have a simple, different way of looking at things or have understood it a different way. But I always try to bring the questions, if they are asked and they come on the table, I always go back to the first teaching because I was there, I was present. So then I bring the information from the first teaching back, the reason why. And during the process over the years of the feedback of the knowledge seekers and the teachings of Mr. Keshe, why it makes sense to use something in a logical way and the reason for it. Not even without understanding everything and the whole complexity, but just remembering, I always say, go back to the first teaching where it was shown, and then go and do the tracking why it is there. If you didn't or think you don't understand something fully, go back. You can listen to them. They're everywhere. You can even, by going on Facebook or in Messenger or in the chat room groups, which are working beautiful. We have cleaned out most of the disturbing people, and they are working, they're blossoming, they're growing. And there's so many different language Universal Council chat rooms on Facebook. They're working perfect. So ask one another and maybe do a double or a triple checking before you go into a steady path. And if you really don't find an answer, then ask to Mr. Keshe on Thursday morning. There should be much more questions coming forward towards Mr. Keshe because that's how he can open more doors towards the knowledge that is about to be shared. If we don't ask and we don't knock on the door, the knowledge cannot be revealed. It will not be given as a gift just for it to be there. We have to be searching for it. We have to be wanting it. If you got any kind of, I would love to have to know that and to love to have the knowledge about this. If you can't find it in the visual or getting or receiving it through a dream or a gift or it appears somewhere, then simply ask in the public teachings. You will receive your answers so freely and with so much pleasure. And that's how the foundation always has been growing. There are, of course, the teachings where it was about the soul, which are in their content because they were given to humanity. They are complete. You have all the other topics which have been released and they are all complete. But to expand on the knowledge, it has to be questioned. You have to ask yourself, what would I like to know for it to be revealed? Because when you knock on the door, you open the door and then the flow can come towards you. I've triggered a lot of knowledge seekers to start wishing to receive answers. Always remember, no one is higher or lower than another. We are all the same on soul level. It's just we are working on a different field strength. But if you know that we're all equal, you can tap into the same knowledge as everyone else. Nothing is hidden and nothing is deprived from nobody. It's just, do you want to know and are you eager to find out? So knock on your own door and your soul will give it to you. That's the explanation of the wishes. Because it has to serve a purpose. You've got to ask the question you want to know for what. And it will appear in front of you. I thank you for asking this question, Peggy.
Always most welcome, Carolina.
Anybody else? Any questions or sharing, please? Come on, don't stay quiet till the end and then we become chatterboxes and we don't want to walk out anymore.
Carlos mentions in the education teaching that he will spread this public class to the Spanish language.
That's beautiful. Anybody, any more questions? Because I got plenty to share if you want.
Actually, Dean had his hand up, and Dean, do you want to go ahead there?
Blessings, grace, peace. I am present. And thank you so much. I'm going to start with a little, shall we call it praise? I had been talking to my group, which is Global Mission of Peace, for several years about Keshe, and we have some members in our tight little group who have been working with Keshe, but we have, those of us who have been following this have been a little bit on the outside, but 2 weeks ago, all of a sudden, I would say that the cloud was lifted, and the interest and the participation now in plasma science, it opened, and I've been waiting for this for a long time. Now, with this new opening, I have a wish. And my wish is to develop 80 acres of land in Floyd, West Virginia, that has water and is undeveloped for doing a couple things. Number one, of course, going to be agriculture and teaching agriculture. And the other thing that I would have a wish would be that we get to work in that area in the United States, in West Virginia, the Republic of West Virginia, to put up a manufacturing facility for the, well, actually, whatever is deemed necessary by this group that I am part of. And I am so glad I heard Keshe, I guess 3-4 weeks ago, saying that this particular one nation, one planet, one race, world peace, is going to be the group that is going to be coordinating at least of the technologies. And when I heard that, I was so thrilled. And then I keep on coming back here and there's nobody here. We were gone, or you were gone for several weeks. Anyway, I'm glad you're back. I am here to create with you. I'm glad that, you know, it's been an interesting time of watching my group, because we had people who did research, Keshe, all the different things that, with the trials and different detractors from Keshe. We had people who did extensive research on those particular negative aspects and had stood in the way of any moving forward, but those have been removed. And my wish is here, I am here, and I'm glad you're here. Anyway, that's about all I have to say at this moment.
Thank you very much for sharing. And I hope more teams and groups will start walking in, that their souls will feel that working through unity and not by division and in individual groups, that we are going much faster forward. We are here, as Mr. Keshe said, we are already agreed on soul level. Now it has to manifest itself in the physicality. And it is coming. It's coming in waves, sometimes faster, sometimes higher, sometimes lower. And sometimes we need to take a break to refresh all our minds and to go, let's say, a little bit away from, as we call, home, and then come back and share what we have experienced in the time we were absent, to refresh the spirits and to load up our batteries, that we are ready for a new adventure. A lot of good news is coming, but also me as a council member for the Nederlandstalige language, I have a request to put into the wish, if Rick can bring it back. Is it possible, Rick? My wish is...
Your wish is my command.
Yes, and it pops up. Thank you. My wish, as everyone knows, I'm a Belgian born, and I see my country from my point of view, through what I experience personally, going through a very chaotic situation at this moment, or what is about to come. As we are here, and through the teachings of the soul, we have all come to understand that we have to elevate the souls which are struggling. What Mr. Keshe called the hyperactive children. There are quite a lot present in Belgium, But that doesn't mean that a country with 10 million population, around 10 million, I do not know the figure exactly, but I call upon every knowledge seeker to elevate the souls from the hyperactive children which are present in Belgium and neighboring countries, that not a whole country needs to be put down to shame or embarrassment or needs to get deprived from their natural way of living because of a few that caused chaos and are creating chaos. But to elevate that the country can come out in its best way possible. And we can only achieve it when we elevate all the hyperactive children for the truth to emerge on the table, but not to sacrifice a whole country if only a few are mischievous, as we call them. My wish is to elevate all the hyperactive children, no matter where they are, and that the truth may be revealed.
I am present.
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 I am present. I was just busy typing.
I know, I've seen you moving it around. Thank you, Rick. The content of this wish is that Belgium is not the only country which has quite an amount of hyperactive children being very busy. We have Israel, we have United States. We can just put them all on a list one after another. We have Brazil, we have Africa, we have so many which are carrying still the hyperactive children. This way, it's not only those which we are reaching. You got to understand the content of this wish in its full understanding for the purpose to serve is that even when you have, let's say, troubled children, which go out to fight, to argue, to do mischief, to go into riots, to policemen which have no correct conduct, not a single hyperactive child can hide from this wish. We reach all of them. And that should give you so much peace that even when they're not in plain view and they will not come into court or they will not be judged publicly, they cannot hide from this wish. They are all covered within it. If you understand that meaning, that means that you even elevate the children which are in the classroom, telling lies about one of another, gossiping one another, or hurting or insulting or bullying another. They are also that part of being a hyperactive child. So we are elevating all of them through this wish. Because this wish is also in the view of the and how to achieve world peace. Because it's through the hyperactive children to bring them to a peaceful level that we can balance all the fields everywhere. Because into my logic, a whole country should not suffer for a few. And as we are the majority, we can balance those few hyperactive children very easy. And that's the process of the world peace. Because in what and so many situations are about to come, it's all about acknowledgement that they have been hyper, but that doesn't mean that we can't elevate them to bring them to a peaceful level or to acknowledge what and how they can correct themselves. If you go back to the wish about the abused children, now you see the real content of that wish, how it's been unfolding in the last few weeks and months. I think all of you have been seeing what has been proclaimed in public. And we covered that wish in every single part we could, that the truth can become on the table and that the ones which are the victims, that they could speak, and they have spoken. Their voices are getting listened to. It's getting sorted. It's taken care of. They're no longer lingering in the dark. Nobody is paying any attention to them. If you can find that wish, that would be very nice. I still remember all of us working on that wish. It took quite a time to put it down in the right way. Because the more we can balance and bring people up to the level of, as Ursula brought very clearly, not to be disturbed, you change. It's the disturbance which is bringing your field strength down, that you can't think clear, you can't make decisions clear, so you become a hyperactive child because you're lacking energy of not being peaceful. It's a different way of looking at why people become hyperactive as well. There's something they want, there's something they're chasing, there's something they're short of. And it's that imbalance, if we call it just one simple word, imbalance, that we are balancing out by giving through our soul, through our wishes, understanding the purpose for it to serve. That's why no hyperactive child can escape on this wish. You found it?
Well, there was the one with viruses and protecting children, but I think maybe there's a different one that you're talking about here. I'm just going through the document with the word children and see what comes up. There's Peggy's wish. But that's not it, I don't think.
No, it's the one that we also protected the...
Perhaps it's this one from Marie.
Yeah, exactly. The first part came from Marie. I wish that all children will be safe, surrounded with love and care. And the wish came, we wish to elevate the souls of those who have the understanding of right and wrong, for them not to inflict any physical or other harms or any children. Universal Council. We create a protection field for the children who are not in a position to defend themselves. Universal Council. We wish to elevate the souls of those who have been victims of abuse to free them from any suffering. Universal Council. Now, this wish was made a long time ago. This was at the time of that World Peace Week, the blueprint of the world peace, or did it came very shortly after it?
I'm not sure about that. We still have to go through and put the dates in these
no problem.
these wishes.
But this is one of the examples that the wishes are unfolding themselves. We were all part of it. We see it coming and appearing in public domain. That was a beautiful proposition from a Universal Council member, and the Universal Council members have worked on this wish. Thank you for bringing it forward, Rick. Now, Mr. Keshe always says, when you work to give, as he called up on so many knowledge seekers which are working on the flight systems, to give to China, which are working on the flight system in China, because through the understanding of when they give to that team, then they receive back from that team on soul level the feedback of what they're short of or what they cannot connect or not understand. And this is the freely sharing of supporting so many. So if you know teams that are working on star formations and are struggling, please give them your support, that the beauty of the knowledge can reveal itself, that it can appear, and that it can confirm so much for so many unanswered questions, that people can find more their way into how to do it, how to place them, what combinations, that they can receive it through their soul, because we are all giving to those who are working on the formations. It should not die down. It should be a continuous flow of giving in the different directions. We came up with a solution for that. Maybe not everyone is aware of it, because it came apparent very shortly before we took our break. And that is that we have formed an iCloud of plasma. And the souls which are working with it and understood, they are putting their support in that iCloud. So you can go and upload, but you also can go and download if you are in need. If you need something, you can just simply ask, it will be given. It's shown to be working very powerful. A lot of knowledge seekers have experienced it. It's just like a gift you receive when you are in need. But also, it needs to be kept with a reserve. So please add to the iCloud. We call it the plasma cloud. It's a giving from the soul with a purpose to serve whoever needs to have access to balance, or that little bit of extra to give somewhere else. And that cloud is growing because a lot of knowledge seekers are working with it, at least the ones which have initiated it. Be more than welcome to be a friend to that iCloud and to share freely. And believe me, it works. Are there any knowledge seekers which have accessed the cloud, the plasma cloud? and have worked with it? Are they present?
Well, I feel like I've partaken in the plasma cloud from time to time, both in the contributing and in the receiving end. And I can definitely say that it is a functional form to consider.
It's been visited by a lot, and it started in one of the private classes, and it is beautiful how it's been taking shape and it's growing. So that's my point why I brought it today on a public level, that we can add more knowledge seekers to the iCloud. It is a very beautiful way of sharing on soul level. And it is vice versa, and it just keeps on growing. The more souls we can welcome, you're more than welcome to join us. And we use it for specific purposes sometimes. So it's never empty. And the beautiful thing is that when people are running into problem, suddenly out of nowhere, there's a message that appears and says, oh, I loaded something extra on the iCloud, you can go and upload. And then you wonder, how would they know that you need at that time that little bit of extra push? But it is there. And then you realize in so many ways we are already connected with one another. It's just acknowledge it. It is a beautiful journey. So I invite a lot more knowledge seekers. Spread it into your classes. Don't forget about it. It serves so many souls. And I thank you for the ones which are working with it.
Can I jump in?
I was just going to say, we have Jalal ready to jump in here, so jump away, Jalal.
Hi, everyone. Hi, Caroline.
Hi, Jalal. Welcome back.
Thank you. I listened to you since you began, but I couldn't contribute. I was in work. I just came home, and I would like to say I really miss you guys. And I want to share one thing with you, all of you. It seems that it's about 90%, whatever question I have in my mind, I don't ask anyone. I just put a question, and somehow I receive the answers from the knowledge seekers. And so many times, Mr. Cash answered my question. And really likely in this times, it's really beautiful because it's exact ask and I receive the answer. So in a way, I can say it is a wish and I receive what I ask for.
Thank you, Jalal.
Thank you.
You knock on the door. It's in a different way. It's how can I explain it easy for people to work with it? It is, how can I give you something if I don't know what you need? So you got to ask the question and feel freely to ask. But that is in relationship to your soul. Your soul is there. It is equal to everything else. It's equal to Mr. Keshe's knowledge. It's equal to the universal knowledge. It's equal to everything is balanced in equality. You're no lower and you're no higher. But it is, what do you choose the path to know? What do you choose and what do you desire and what are you going to explore more? And where do you want to grow? So to be able to receive something, you got to ask for it. So what is the best source for you to receive is your soul. Nobody ever got explained that your soul is your best friend. So don't hesitate. It will give you with the greatest pleasure. Because when you don't ask, it can't give. It's the same position with Mr. Keshe. If you don't ask, he cannot open the doors to more and different parts of the knowledge. And he keeps on saying that in his public teachings, the same. You're the creator of your reality. That's the same way of explaining. What do you want in your creation? What do you want to change? How much more do you want to know? You got to go to one source which is connected to all, is your soul. And then in the other part of the teaching comes up, make yourself calm, not disturbed, to be able to knock on the door. Make the time for it. Try to step away from the disturbance or understand why the disturbance is there in the first place. And then you will even get your answer why the disturbance is there. It's not an easy path. Sometimes, as we say, you're on a marathon before you receive one little bottle of water to thirst. But it's the same with the experience of life. Once you know, you go to the next one. But it's a learning path. It's a gift to you. Don't look at it as a problem. Look at it as a possibility to explore more. Because if you wouldn't get that push, you might not even want to walk that path. But somehow your soul is putting you on that path. You simply always have to ask why. And that's where the first point of the question starts. Why? Remember when you observe 2-year-olds, 3-year-olds, 4-year-olds, they don't stop asking one question. Why? And then they start the question. Be that child again and don't hesitate to ask. Because it's already given before you even ask, because your soul knows. So trust the path. Trust yourself. And I'm glad you're all back well and sound and enjoy the whole holidays. In the time of the holidays, I realized when I watched a movie, The Black Panther, it is amazing if you understand what is being shown in that movie. For the ones who haven't seen it, I really do encourage you to go and look at that movie. The most beautiful sentence he used was the last one before closing of the movie, that we all can be as one tribe. But all the knowledge which was shown before, I always remember that nothing can exist if it is not already existing. It cannot come into the matter state if it hasn't or is nowhere existing. Because if it doesn't exist, you can't think about it, you can't speak about it, and you can't make it. The beauty of the knowledge that is already present on this planet is beautifully shown in that movie. If you understand what I'm trying to explain to you, you can make that development to appear much faster when you acknowledge. And if you want to know more about what they're showing there. I always remember when Star Trek came out, I was always wondering years later, why did that movie came that way that time? And then it clicked on me because I asked the question why. I got the answer. It was preparing so many people to be ready for what is about to come now. The Black Panther, in so many ways, is giving us a peak view of what is already in development. And it's amazing. And they're showing it right in front of you. But who is going to believe that this is already a reality? Because it's a movie? Now you got to put the question a different way and ask, if it doesn't exist, how can it appear? So it's only a matter of working towards what you see, confirm its existence, and then it will appear for more people to benefit of it. Because whatever they have shown right across through that movie is nothing but gifts to serve humanity in a better way. Okay, it comes into a story and it comes into entertain people. But in so many ways, there's much more beauty hidden in that. And funny enough, I bumped into quite a few of these kind of movies because I have a young boy at home and he's very intrigued by these things like Mr. Strange and Thor and the Avengers. They're all showing parts of what is already existing. Let us give for that to be developed much faster, to serve humanity in such a beautiful way. Because it is also part of the peace process. I hope we can discuss this topic next week sometime. Because if we talk about it and what we have noticed by going through these movies, we pick up the knowledge which is already there. And by paying attention to it and wanting to know more, we will set the moving of the energy field strength for it to appear, to serve so many other people. And that's what we are all working for. That's what we are all standing for, to bring more peace among more people. And the ones which are becoming more peaceful because you reach them, you touch them with your kindness of giving, sharing. They join faster to put it in the matter state because the souls already agreed. There's no doubt about that. And there you go, Topodi confirms it. As usual. Anybody, any more beauties to share?
Hi, Carolina. This is Klaus.
Hi, Klaus. Welcome.
Hi. Welcome. You were asking the question who is using the plasma cloud, and then I dropped out because I didn't have internet around. I wanted to share that I'm using it on a daily basis. So I'm working with it, and it is easy to work with it. You can address directly souls, you can upload energy, you can, for instance, write them on Telegram that there is some energy available, you upload it, and they feel it immediately. It is Telegram or Zoom is just a way to
can I interrupt you, Klaus? Can you go to a
Yes.
more stable place, please?
I'm driving, so maybe it's
off
or now.
Sorry.
Sounds like the cloud works better than our internet services. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Sorry about this, but If you're
Do you
still
have-
here in about that.
Do you have window in the top roof? You can take your head up from the roof.
No, I don't have. But if you're still here in half an hour, 20 minutes, then I can come in again.
Yes,
Don't know.
please.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Speak to you later.
See you later. Bye-bye.
Thanks. He must be driving through mountains or hills or something. No problem. Anybody else, please?
Can I add some sentence? Sorry, Rick.
No, go ahead.
What in this let's say pause, I learned so many things, and it was very beautiful things. One of the things I learned that anything you ask, anything you believe in, you will receive. If is it right, also if is it wrong. But if is it right, it will benefit the others. If is it wrong, it will hurt you first. And this is what Mr. Cash always saying. So if you want to ask anything, just put one word with it. What I'm asking, this is for peace. Always put this sentence with you. And if you really, really believe in what you are asking, and this is sincerely for peace, you will get it without hesitating, in seconds. I'm telling you, in seconds, really. And if you missed it, even this question, it will come to you, the answer will come to you. And whatever you want, whatever you need, it will come to you because you ask it and you ask it sincerely. And this is really for the benefit. And this is for peace. You will get it. And don't ask so many questions. Don't ask so many things, because there will be so many windows open to you. Ask one after the other. When you achieve one question, if you like, ask another one, but only one, and you will notice that you will receive it.
Okay, thank you, Giselle.
I'm sorry.
Yes,
Okay.
you're here. We're all pondering what you said, I guess.
That's really beautiful, Rick. That's really beautiful. If you just think what Mr. Cash teaching us and what Caroline and what all of us we are putting here, and really just think about it and let it settle in your mind, and every word, it's really amazing thing. It's like you're putting a tree and you're planting a tree and you see it growing in front of you.
I'm gonna reveal a wish, and it is a very big one.
Oh my God.
Oh my God, yes. Oh my God. And it goes to specific details. So, you know something, why I say this, Jalal? Because you have no limits. Don't limit yourself.
Absolutely, yes, exactly.
And I've been working on this wish, and a lot of knowledge seekers know through the private teachings. And the wish is, and I think we can type it down, Rick, if you can, because this is a very, very big wish. Hold on to your seats. The wish started nearly about a year ago. And that wish is for the first university in Europe to be set up in Austria, to be able to accommodate teaching rooms, research rooms, labs, public broadcasting of the teachings which are taking place in the university, at the same time to harvest the first center for the Universal Council members, to have a place where they can meet. And there goes Topoli again. Topoli just. That it has the facilities to allow people to stay over if they come with children and they take part in the classes, that they don't need to be there just for a few hours if they come from long distances. That we have a commuting service to pick up people from airports and that we can bring them back, that they can go home safe and come and arrive safe. That they can explore all the different aspects of the foundation in their applications and show the results, but live and direct. It is a big, big job that will need to be done. We will need the building to be purchased. We're going to need sufficient enough funds for that all to be supported on very long term, that we also can house the people and invite and pay for tickets for people which would never be able to come and visit, that we can cover those costs for their transports, that they also can take place and part in the whole structure, that there is a health center, that people can just walk in freely to take what they need to rebalance themselves and walk out as happy people. That they can come and learn and go home, but also that there is a supply constant being made by the knowledge seekers which are in the facilities working. So if we have stress situations like we had in Italy, that we can dispatch whatever is needed because we are creating the stockpile for it. That people know where to come when there is a need. That they can come with their complaints, that they can come and ask for solutions that then can be redistributed from the center out. It's a big challenge. So it will need the support, it will need the donations, it will need to be established, because it can serve to start in Europe. It might be the good and the best wish for other parts in the world, for knowledge seekers to start wishing for the same project to appear in their area, that they can start by dreaming and creating it in their vision. Then the doors will open for that to appear for them as well. I have no limits in my wishes. I never limited. It has to be unlimited, that this can stand as the first wish for so many others to appear worldwide, to serve so many, and to go live broadcasting whenever the teachings or the researchers are working or discovering, that it can go out live straight away, that it's shared on day-to-day basis, that there is money available to support the transcribers and the translators and the people which will dedicate their life, that they don't need to look to have a job to survive, but that they are guarded through this whole setup. And that we can call upon so many knowledge seekers to come and volunteer for the ones which can do. What do you think, Jalal? Can we add more to the wish?
I am present before it's written.
Yeah, I was going to say it's a bit of a long wish. Maybe could you maybe put it in a one-liner or two? And how can we wrap all that up into a little package that can go on here?
You need to hear it tomorrow.
First of all, it was for a university to be set up in Austria. Is that what you're saying? Was it Austria?
Yep.
Okay, just to be clear. And supported long term. What else can we say, or how would you like to say it in a nice way, a correct way, let's say?
For all the doors to open up for it to be realized. That all the doors open for that to be established. What if we change supported long term, but unlimited? Anybody else wants to add to this wish?
Would that be a Keshe Foundation University? Could we call it that, or KF University, or what would you call it to name it more specifically? Or does it have to be?
It's going to be the first point for Universal Council. Because that's what the Universal Council is working for.
Okay, first Universal Council University.
Yeah, we can still work on the terms when it's there.
The Universal University, UU.
Uni University. You can say it, Uni University.
Or UCU, UCU.
You. Not bad.
Universal Council University, the UCU. That'd be a great t-shirt.
Yep. So we can start working in our knowledge seekers workshops. Maybe now the workshop will know where to contribute for that to be established.
That's nice one, you know. UCU, it's have a lot of meaning.
Could whoever is doing the annotating, please not annotate. I have to keep trying to remove the marks. Okay, thank you.
UCU, you know, Rick, if you go back to the first thing you started this about Handi, look what he says. Everything is, I see you, I love you, your friendship, your beauty, your need, your feelings. It's not far off, is it?
Well, if it's all the same source, then it's actually all you. So you see you. It comes right down to it. And it's true, we see ourselves, we see our true selves. And that's what it's really all about, is being able to see that source in others and in ourselves. And it becomes all you, or all me, you could say, but it's not me, it's you.
acknowledging the soul, the beauty.
Mm-hmm.
So, anybody else wants to add to the wish to complete it? Come on, knowledge seekers. Have a go.
I like what Lornick said. This is Peggy. He put into the chat, I wish this university be created in form of a plasma spaceship. So here we are with our plasma domes and our spaceships creating this environment. I like that, Lornick. Thank you.
Perhaps with, this is Doug, perhaps with plasma buses or taxis delivering and people to the university and bringing them home safely.
Do you want that added as a wish, Doug? Or?
I think whatever knowledge seekers will be able to add under this wish, maybe not only today, but expanded to next week, that we do not miss anything for that to be complete. So feel free with your ideas and just keep adding to this one wish, because it will just be adding to the university.
Okay, Doug, could you give me what you suggested there again with the vehicles?
Yeah, I'm an old bus driver a long time ago, so it just struck me that buses can be unsafe, and aeroplanes and so on. So if with the development of planetary, not necessarily interplanetary travel, but planetary travel within plasma vehicles, that a bus service or a transport service that could, like Caroline was saying, bring people from different parts of the world, long distances, conveniently to the university and deliver them back home without the need for, hours of going through airports and all the other things which we know are a hassle.
Okay, Doug, how would that wish go in one sentence or so?
For a plasmatic transportation system to be established to service the needs of the visitors to the university. To and from.
We'll do 3.
Oh, Dean, your microphone's open. Were you going to add something there? Or is that complete your wish, Doug?
Yep, that's good, Rick. That'll do. Yep.
Plasmatic transportation system to be established to service the needs of visitors to and from the university.
Yep.
Okay, that's pretty much covers it. Good, thank you. And sorry, Dean, did you want to say something there?
Yes. Grace, blessings. Caroline, thank you very much. I am present with your wish. When I told you about the 80 acres that I want to develop, you just put into words what my wish is. Now with Global Mission of Peace, we're putting up a city of science and culture. And it's going to be probably in the Adriatic Sea. And that's one place I would like to put your wish, which is my wish. The 80 acres in Floyd, West Virginia. That is the vision, desire, and wish that I have. And then once again in the United States, there is a good possibility that not only in Virginia, but also in New Mexico, we're going to be putting up a development. So where that goes, the wish that Carolyn has had is my wish also, both for the university research and also for manufacturing.
Okay.
That's my wish.
What would you like to have written down here as the actual black and white writing? I'll start off with.
I would say that you can take and just tag it on to Caroline's wish, because all it is you could put that in Floyd, West Virginia, that it be opened up and developed. In Roswell, New Mexico, that it be opened up and developed. And
wait a minute, I have to be able to write all this. So if you want,
okay, yes,
you want it all in. Floyd, West Virginia.
And be more specific, 80 acres in Floyd, West Virginia.
Be developed. Is that what you wanted there? Be developed. How would you say it?
Well, Caroline put it already, that there be the facilities for people to come. So I don't have to rewrite anything, just add a couple locations.
Copy her first wish there, change the location.
He just wants to add the places where the same should appear.
That's
correct?
Right. That's correct. Because you stated it, I've been working on it, and all I want to do is in the cloud, add to the wish. And it's just locations, because all we have to do is agree on locations, multiple locations, because the wish is already there. We're already creating it. Yeah.
You know them when you said people will come.
Oh yeah.
If you build it, they will come.
It's very beautiful. Make what can I say it in English? Guns out. Guns out. What do you call it in English? The hair of my hand is stand. Just when I hear people will come.
People will
Goosebumps. Goosebumps.
What's the second location?
Yes, what is the second location?
The second location would be Roswell, New Mexico.
Roswell.
We all recognize that.
Yeah.
You're right on top of them.
Okay, does that say the way I put it there? Does that say what you want? Or is there something?
And then the other location would be the City of Science and Culture. And that's going to be, we're securing the land, and it's probably going to be in the Adriatic Sea on an island. What island? I can't remember the name of the island.
The City of Science and Culture? Is that what you...
Science and Culture. Actually, the name of it is ARYA, A-R-Y-A.
Like that? ARYA?
I can't see anything on my...
Oh, sorry, A-Y-R-I-A or?
A-R-Y-A.
A-R-Y-A.
ARYA, yeah, A-R-Y-A.
A-R-Y-A. Okay.
Thank you, Dean.
Oh, we're going to be building some stuff.
Good.
That's what creators do, eh?
Oh, that's all we do. It's like, there are so many things that I've gone through, and, you know, it's like I can take and try to do it on my own efforts and the rest of the stuff as a creator, or I can take and see what is the next thing that I can do as far as creation goes. But then I have to take and put it out there where I realize that there's nothing at my hand that I can do to really change anything except through that of what I have done in working with ether or with the plasma field or with faith, in order to take and connect with other people, in order to see that those things that are in my heart or my spirit soul get to then be manifest. But it's so much of it happens by the wish and the agreement and the faith that you get to create what you choose. And it doesn't matter how big it is, because if you take the wish, which is universal peace and then creation and the rest of the stuff, we get to have that. Now, this is just a little aside, and this is a question, as you were talking, Caroline, about heating and putting the zinc and the copper on the walls. I was wondering, I'm getting some backpacking equipment. Would it work the same by putting it on the walls of the tent and then putting a different one on the sleeping pad in order to create that environment?
It works when you spray it on your tent, yes. When the tent is set up, you just spray, but you make sure that the CO2 and the zinc do not mix, that you leave a room in the middle so that they are applied individually on the tent. No problem.
So you could do that once, right? And it'd have the plasma field within it?
Yes, you can do it once. And if you're not sure, you can always have a handy spray bottle with you with some GANs and just repeat. If it's been really washed down from rain or so, you never know. You can always resecure it. Make sure, I will give you a tip. If you want your infinity loops to work absolutely amazing, then you wire them like you would make your first table of your MAGRAPH system. So you have a gravitational and you have a magnetical. So that means there are two wires. One is inside the other. You stretch them open once you have the right loops and the ends are sticking out. You just flush one through the other one, and then you hold the two ends and then you stretch them out, not too extremely far, but quite a distance. And then you add the two ends together, you twist the wires around, and then from where you twisted the wires, you make your infinity loop, so you twist the wire and then you use that end to lock your infinity loop. That field strength is so powerful, you have no idea. Also, for the knowledge seekers, if they want to make really beautiful GANs, use the same way you've been nano-coating for your magraphs. If you got the full circle of the loop, use that to hang in your buckets to make GANs. You really get beautiful GANs out of it.
One of the questions I had when you're working with the infinity loops of nano-coated copper, do you need, you shouldn't touch that because it destroys.
There is no, I touch them every day.
Okay.
But
So,
if you want to keep the nano layers intact, then put them in a zip bag. So they're protected from rubbing, they're protected from the weather. So you can keep your nano coating layers intact by just putting them in a Ziploc bag.
Is by coating them with like a plastic polymer, you know, or a varnish, does that hurt the nano coating or would that protect it?
No, you don't put nothing on the layers. You just, what you can do is you can put them in a vacuum pack and seal them.
Okay.
Or in a simple freezer bag that you ziplock, you can carry it in your luggage. They don't rub anywhere. They don't lose their strength. Your nano coating material stays intact. So you can travel easy with them.
Wonderful. Well, I thank you for everything, and I am present in your wish as it is my wish also. Peace be with you.
Thank you very much to jump on the train. That's exactly why we are together.
It's not a train, it's a plasma ship.
So anybody else with more wishes to add on what you desire for that center to be in its full beauty? I already have the building in mind, so it can take gardening, it can take animals, it can take humans, it can take everything what is needed.
Hello?
Yes.
It's Pia again.
Yes, Pia.
I would like to add a bit what we talked about also before. It could be a place where education's leaders and teachers, school leaders, and maybe even education ministers could meet and start the new education systems, the global new education systems.
Yes. It will be the center point of inviting what we call the ones which are in charge now and let them walk through our way and see what we can give them as a gift. About the loops, which I see it coming, you have to go back to the blueprint teaching of the magraph. Just make the first coils. You need to make 2. The teaching is there. You can find it also on wiki. It should not be a problem for you to find your way how to make the exact amount of turns in the copper wire. And if you can't, don't worry. Just a simple nano-coated copper wire will do the job. Just fold it as an infinity loop. Make sure it is connected in the middle. I put them on my phones, I put them on my computer, I put them on the windows, they're in my car, they travel with me in my handbag, but they're never on my body. If I may correct this last wish, my wish is that people, education ministers, so remove such as and I would not, responsible, not be able, but will visit the university.
Pia, was there something you said originally that I might have missed there, or something you'd like to rephrase?
I actually think it is better what you wrote, because I was saying that they could build new education system, but that's maybe a little too forcing. So I think to learn that will open up everything. So I think it's good what you wrote.
We're always trying to work with the confirmation it is already done.
Ah, yeah, that's right.
Yep. And to go back to something that the name is Fernando just put in a post in the chat, is that what I'm trying to give as a source is that it is the source is yourself. So you just convert it into the matter state. You're working through the matter state. But to realize something, you always have the starting point from your soul. So the knowledge always, as I explained in one of my private teachings, if you close your eyes and your ears and your mouth, where is the voice taking place, and the thoughts and the creation and the thinking and the arguing and the debates? They're all within you. So if you acknowledge that that voice is only within you, not coming from your neighbor or from anywhere else, because everything is closed, as your eyes, your ears, and your mouth, you are only conversing with yourself. So that's your part where you are the creator. If you acknowledge that, then from there on you can build up anything infinite, because the one you are talking to, that's the one you need to knock on the correct way, in the correct path, for that to make it sure it appears for you, as we say, like a wish comes true, for that to appear in the matter state, because you are the creator. If you understand that your eyes, your ears, and your mouth are not working at that time. So whatever you visualize, and you have no limits in your visualization and what you want to create, it's only to silence that voice, that it doesn't jump too much and too loud. Pardon. And it doesn't go into too many arguments with itself, but truly go very peaceful and knock on that one door, which you call your soul. Then you will start working together in peace. And that's when that peaceful connection is made, you will see the results in the matter states appearing, because you are the one who are creating it. Thank you, Fernando, for bringing it forward. So that's why I said it's a big wish, and I have no limits in that wish, because you see, that wish is already growing, because I didn't put no restrictions and no limits on it. It has to be a house where people feel welcome and they feel home, as the Keshe Foundation has always been like this. From the day we started in Belgium, our house is your house. And there's always food and friendship and warmth and greetings and knowledge on the table, freely shared. There is no limitation. And that is exactly what I want to open up after so many years, that there is a place which all the knowledge seekers can call home, but not one home, but as we see them appearing already, there will be a lot of homes for a lot of knowledge seekers worldwide. But we have to establish them for them to be functioning as a home for so many knowledge seekers. And from there on, we can carry our work because you have a solid base and you can invite people to your home to share your friendship and your knowledge and your hospitality. And I hope that every center will work in that shape and form of that hospitality, that everybody is welcome, no matter what.
We've got two people with hands up. Fernando, at least he did have his hand up. Did you still want to speak, Fernando? Oh, his hand went up again. I guess so. We'll promote you to panelists. And also Herbert, and maybe you can talk after that. And Fernando, do we have a translator for Fernando?
Yeah, that's John.
All right.
Hola, buenas tardes, ¿me escuchan?
Buenas tardes, Fernando. Benvenuto.
Muchas gracias, señora Carolina. Gracias por todo el apoyo que nos han estado dando. Yo vengo a platicarles un poco. Tengo a una compañera, María José de España. Ella ha llegado acá a la ciudad de Monterrey y vamos a dar próximamente talleres con unos profesores. Pero yo quería comentarles lo bonito. Quería comentarles lo bonito que se siente tener el apoyo de todos ustedes, de gente, de personas de otros países que siguen todo este trabajo que se está realizando. En lo personal, yo veo mucha comunicación en todo lo que es el español y cada día constantemente son personas nuevos, que con todo gusto, con toda la disposición, ellos vienen a aprender, a comprender todo este trabajo que estamos haciendo. Y yo en lo personal percibo que la sociedad está más abierta a hablar de estos temas. Yo me comunico con ustedes, pues es que estoy muy emocionado de tener a una compañera profesora y una gran amiga de visita acá en la ciudad. Próximamente, pues les mostraremos imágenes, todo del trabajo que estamos haciendo para llegar a más personas, para que conozcan todo este proceso de conocimiento. Y sobre todo, yo había entendido que el mejor testimonio que tenemos es el de nosotros mismos. Y comprendiendo la estructura de nuestras debilidades, también como de nuestras fortalezas, de nuestras capacidades, de experiencias. Todo esto es lo que nos hace fuertes, nobles, nos hace vivir la vida. Y con esta perspectiva de la ciencia en general, del plasma, muchas gracias a Mr. Keshe por todo este conocimiento que nos está regalando. Uno se da cuenta también de sus debilidades, pero también te das cuenta de tus fortalezas. Y ahí es cuando nuestras fortalezas nos ayudan para poder atender estas debilidades. ¿Qué quiero decir con esto? Pues con el conocimiento del plasma uno se da cuenta que puede cambiar su vida, puede cambiar su entorno y sobre todo comprender que el mejor testimonio que tienes ahora eres tú mismo. Estás vivo, estás conociendo todo esto y empezarte a querer, empezarte a animarte tú mismo, ustedes mismos. Te das cuenta de todo el potencial que tienes en la vida y de todas las capacidades y experiencias que nos han tocado. Ahora entiendes los por qué. Y eso me gusta, me empieza a gustar ahora con el tiempo de comunicación cero que está hablando Mr. Keshe. Ahora entiendes las experiencias de vida de muchos años atrás que te han permitido llegar a este momento. Ahora hablaba con María José un poco mientras veníamos caminando. Y es como cada día estarnos sorprendiendo de cosas nuevas y entender tu propósito y entender la conexión de todas las cosas o tratar de entender la mayoría de las cosas. Esto es algo que solamente las personas pueden vivirlo a su propia experiencia, en base a su conocimiento.
Fernando.
Y ahora que, ¿sí? Adelante, John.
Vas a volver loco para la traducción, porque supuestamente te
Discúlpame.
tengo...
Yes,
I think Fernando is coming with a big wish, and I think if it would be possible, Fernando, would you be able to put your wish in a text, no matter if it's Spanish, it can be translated later on, no problem. With what I understand, what he's expressing is a big wish. Correct?
Que exprese mis deseos de manera más corta.
No, Carolina interpreta de que todo lo que estás diciendo es para hacer un buen deseo. Así que, ¿por qué no expresas tu deseo? Porque por ahora estás explayándote referente a las experiencias que has vivido y que están por hacer.
Sí, bueno, me expreso por texto, mi deseo va por texto.
Fenómeno, y eso es lo que decía Carolina. Yes, Fernando was telling.
Hello, John, you just cut off there. John, your microphone's closed. It's open.
Yeah, now it's open. Fernando is telling us that Maria Jose has come over from Spain, and then in the next few days they're going to have some teachings, public teachings there in Mexico, and workshops. So they'll be very busy, and they realized that all these studies have hit them profoundly, and they've learned a lot on how to know how know oneself with all these teachings. And well, he's going to write down his wish so we can translate it, because when he starts talking, he never stops. That's one of the problems we have in our Spanish teachings. But well, we know each other. So I wish them good, very best wishes from us all with their teachings there in Mexico in the next few days. Te deseamos la mejor de los éxitos, las próximas enseñanzas que tenés ahí en México junto con María José.
Gracias, John. Y pues
un saludo, John, un abrazo muy grande para todos. Y bueno, ya estoy aquí, ya estamos aquí los dos trabajando en México.
Fenómeno. ¿Qué tal, María José? Fine.
Un poquito cansada del viaje.
She's just arrived from Spain and she's a bit tired, but well, she's listening to what all's going on here.
Bien, expreso mi deseo por texto. Con todo gusto, muchas gracias y un saludo y un abrazo para todos ustedes. Gracias.
Thank you very much.
Fine.
And thank you, John, for translating.
No, well, thank you, and excuse, because when he starts talking, he never stops. So, well, and I'm not a simultaneous translator.
Was there a particular wish that that we wanted to put down from that?
He's going to put it in writing so we can translate.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
I think Estella can add her wish to this list as well with her preservation. What did, not Estella,
Peggy?
Peggy, yeah, Peggy.
Carolina, it's Peggy.
Yes, my darling. I think yours belongs under this too.
Yes, he needs the support to be able to develop these things. So I wish that he have the support for those things.
But you also have your own dream that you want to...
the vision for the Keshe Foundation Visitor Centers and Preserves. Yes,
I did. That's different. Just to be clear, that's different than Dean's developments, right?
Well, not necessarily, because again, we are one. And we're all individuals, but I would love to have, this was just a starting point. This was to get my vision, which was, I presented in the 13th One Nation, One Planet, One Race, which is what this link is to. And I apologize, guys, I have to go do my nebulizer, so I apologize for my voice cutting out. It's not the computer, it's me, sorry. But the link that I put there, I queued it up, I think, right pretty close to the presentation. So if anybody wants an idea of what they can do in their own environment to create their own personal Keshe Foundation Visitor Center and Preserve, at least they can look at the things that were on my heart at that time, a year or so ago, and expand, because I'm seeing it happening. I look at Ursula, I look at Dean, it's happening. The things that I have, and I've had this on my heart before I even knew of the Keshe Foundation, having a place like this. So, these are things that I am now seeing unfold before my eyes like a beautiful flower opening. So, I thank Mr. Keshe. I'm so grateful to him and to Carolina. And I love you guys, and I'm going to get off of here. I can't breathe right now. I love you.
Thank you very much, Peggy. Now, we have a question from YouTube that's appropriate at this point. From Cindy, who says, I wish to help or be part of a team in the USA to assist, I think she means the Keshe Foundation, to move forward in the development of what is needed more. How can I get in touch with you? Thank you. Now that was on, she has a Facebook
Yeah, that was Facebook.
ID for contact in this case. But how would someone like that get in touch? What is the best way? Would they use the form in the support section of the Keshe Foundation? Would that be the best way to get in touch, or how do we facilitate that? Well, if anyone can think of something other than the support form in the Keshe Foundation support site, which has different contact forms you can use there to get in contact and put your message through. Otherwise,
Get through Messenger. Don't try to become a friend, but send a message through Messenger on Facebook. It works fast.
a message to you mean? To
Yeah.
Caroline?
Anyone, just put the request through. I would like to be connected or added. They can always be added to the Universal Council chat rooms. So then they have the whole family sitting there where they can communicate with, and maybe clear what language they are fluent in.
Right. So in this case, it seems to be English. They want to be part of the team in the USA and so on. So that would probably be the best way to direct people, is through the Universal Council work, correct?
Yep, no problem.
Okay, thank you. And we also did post the KF SSI volunteer link earlier there as well. So that's
Pete,
another
are you still available? Are you still online, Pete? Pete, are you still there?
Yes, I am. Hello.
Pete, can you maybe release the document that can go public? That people can find their way easy?
You mean the contact directory?
Yeah.
Yes, sure. I'll. Yeah, this is for public knowledge, so I can share. I'll share with Rick or Flint, and then we'll see how we can share it further.
Yeah, they can put it on the screen, or they can add it somewhere in the chat room that people can go and copy it. And maybe Vince and Flint can put it on their other channels as well, in the chat rooms, that people can pick it up. It's an overview of a lot of contact possibilities. If you don't find your way or you don't understand something, it's an easy way. Facebook is not included in those links, but everyone can find his way. Just look through the names and you will find us. It's very difficult to come in as a friend because usually a lot of knowledge seekers' Facebooks are full. So come through the messenger and then they just see you appearing and then they open it up. And then they can guide you where you need to be. Because my intention is also that there should be a part in these universities that should be dedicated as what we call museum, which means a collective room where all the previous systems in the stages as they were developed should be able to be visible to the public, so people can come and see where the steps and how the steps were taking place of the first units or the first magraphs or whatever was developed, that they are there, visible as they were growing, so that you can see the history of what has been done, and that there is also an uploading center that people can take the teachings with them if they don't have good network, or they can have no access to such an easy way to be there. Like Africa, in a lot of places have these kind of difficulties, that the center can provide ready-made uploads from the teachings or whatever needed information to be given to the visitors that they can take home, because that's the teaching material they can then provide for their students or anyone who comes and visits them. So that there is an open source system, and maybe make this available on our web shop to make copies that people can order them and get them delivered at home, that they can listen to like a CD or in whatever shape they can listen, that we can provide maybe through the Keshe Foundation, a way that people have access to these teachings. Because not everyone has that luxury to have a comfortable internet. But if they know that they can order it, it might be a very good idea to be added to our web shop, that they can buy the CDs as the recordings per teaching, or so many teachings, or per season. I do not know how you can split them up, but also the public teachings that they are getting printed on CDs or on whatever, that people have access to it in a different way. There's a lot of digital teaching start going on in the schools, so that we are prepared if they want to call up CDs from our teachings, that they have them available if the network is not stable. What do you think, Rick?
Okay, yeah. Seems like that might be possible. Pete sent me something, but I'm not getting it yet, so I'm just trying to get that clarified here.
Is Klaus back? Hello, Dr. Klaus.
Yes, I'm back.
Oh, good. You're more stable now?
Yes, I'm very stable now. So hopefully. I wanted to answer to your question, who is using the Plasma Cloud. And I wanted to share that I'm using it very often and that it works very well. So it is just, I always call it uploading something and telling someone that there is a download available. But this is just an instrument for us. We don't really need this, but it works immediately. So if you want to send someone some energy, like you call it, what I'm always doing it, I'm sending a short message on Zoom or on Telegram, and I'm writing, uploaded some energy for you. It's ready for downloading. So it's even possible if someone checks his or her messenger after days or hours or minutes, doesn't matter, as soon as they're reading it, they're receiving the energy, if not before, instantaneously, immediately. So this is what I wanted to share. It is something which can be used by everyone, and it's for us, I think it's a tool for learning, how to communicate on soul level. I call it as a tool because we need something which we can visualize, like a cloud. And we all know from the IT world, there are data in the cloud. We can store something in the cloud. We can upload something to the cloud. And this is, I think, why it works for us as a training tool to communicate with each other, to send energy, to even send data, send information, by using this as a kind of metaphor, a kind of visualization of the communication between our souls. And this is what I wanted to share.
Thank you very much. And Klaus, I know you're also very good in IT. I think it will be a good idea to bring it to your department and to print CDs or in whatever shape or form that the media world is available to provide, and make it as a facility to go on our web shop, because you're working close with Italy. So I think they will come up with great ideas there.
Yes, we'll think about it. I just thought about it going back to the punch cards, you know, when IT started.
Yes, I remember those.
Because also those can be given as a gift to people. You have to consider it's not only for the knowledge seekers themselves, but to hand them out as a gift, as a birthday gift or a New Year's gift or a Christmas gift or an Easter gift, to get people that have maybe already asked some questions to know. Then they can listen to it in private without having to acknowledge in public. And that's the most easiest way to approach somebody, by gift.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
Yep. I'm going to put something in the chat. And maybe Vince knows about this. And I think a lot of knowledge seekers should go and have a look at this. I do not know if you can open this link the way I posted it. It's referring to Facebook. If you can pick it up and have a closer look at it. I think Vince has a great story about this. If he could open it up, if he sees what I posted. A lot of people are not aware of this. But I think it's nearby you, Vince, if I'm not wrong, or nearby Rick. If I have understood.
Sorry, I don't understand. Do you want me to show this person's Facebook page? Is that what you're saying?
No, it's not. Should not be a Facebook page. It should be the Badlands Guardians total picture overview. You know, I'm going to send it.
It's an album picture album from the Dragon Rider. It's called from his Facebook page. Yes. I don't know.
Can you find it?
What? I have it here. Yeah. I just don't know whether we can show it or not. Whether they're from Google, and I don't know if it's free images. I'm assuming they are, but I don't know if that's true or not from the, I think it's from Google Earth. And is Google Earth okay to show, or?
I don't know.
I'm not sure. I don't think there's copyright on it, but I can't say for sure.
I'm going to circulate them in the Universal Council so they can pick them up here and there. I cannot really send them everywhere, because then they're going to block me again. But I think
Sorry, I
Yes.
just got back in here. I believe Richard Ubeek has a bunch of information regarding what you had posted, and I think he even did a teaching on it, a private teaching. And yes, it's about 2 hours away from where I live.
And is it correct that this is like an imprint from the... You have better words to explain what it is, Vince.
Well, the river had, when it receded, it had created shapes in the surrounding terrain, but the shapes were of different, I would say, humans and different beings that were, I would say, providing energy at that time. So it's very interesting to see the different shapes that that Mother Nature has created out of the fields.
I'll show the show what I have here, and I think it's okay. It's part of a Facebook post, but I believe we can show that. So let me do that.
It's on Wikipedia, Sander says.
Yeah,
there's a photos.
That would be a better way to show it. Pardon me?
There is an article on Wikipedia, but without the photos. The photos are from other source.
So that's where we have to be careful, maybe.
There is the atlasobscura.com, which has beautiful photos of that. But that's all rights reserved.
Yeah, I don't want to do that. But this is Facebook, and it's of Google Earth images, so it's probably okay to use, I think. So
we can open a Google Earth eventually.
We could, but we'd have to have the exact location and have a look at it. Yeah. Let me just show it here, and because we have to have something for people to reference. Okay, so you see, let's get some of the main images up here. This shows the, just make it a bit bigger here so we can see easier. Shows the river system, I guess, you would say. And then there's, you can see like on the middle right part of the image, there's what looks to be a facial feature there, as well as a couple of other faces you can also see in the top part of the picture. If you go through, then these get highlighted. That's basically it.
There is more to it. I just wanted to create a curiosity that there might be a lot of information in this. And if you open the door, then you start receiving the answers. As we say, when you ask why, you see, you can see the faces. And then you can start looking for yourself what is more there. A lot of people are really intrigued by this and start researching on it. and it's beautiful. And my first knowledge came from Vince. And then my second time I had a conversation about the same was with Richard. And now I thought this should be shared with so many more knowledge seekers because there is so much more there to find. Thank you for sharing, Rick.
Okay.
If there are there any more questions? I think we
I've got
are about to hit 4 hours.
I've been given the Keshe Foundation public contact directory, the yellow pages. Should we show that, I guess? That's from Pete.
Yep. And Pete, if you can share this with Klaus, Dr. Klaus, so that he can put it up, that would be nice in Wikipedia, so that this becomes available for everyone. And if Klaus is no longer here, maybe Caroline can ask Klaus to keep an eye on it.
I'm here, but Pete, you can upload it.
Okay.
So that it becomes available for all the knowledge seekers to find their way easier in the content of the KF.
This is funny because this is exactly what I was wishing for yesterday.
There we go again.
There must be a master list somewhere. Maybe it's stored somewhere and no one's told me about it, or maybe I should ask, because I can't keep these email contacts together. I'm always, getting the wrong ones, or I'm hesitant. I can't remember which one's which. So this is perfect. It helps me to clarify exactly what's what and how to direct people. It's often people need to know, how do I contact the education department or the subtitles and transcriptions, for example. I can't remember if it's subtitle or subtitles and transcriptions or subtitles. And there it is, subtitles at kfssi.org, for example. So that's great. So we have this first part is the KF Public Contact Directory, what it's called. And then the second part is, it continues on the second page here. So
yes, Rick, I think about you.
It includes the Earth Council and Universal Council emails as well there for people that are interested in contacting them, and other resources there. Very good.
Rick, that usually you have a wish and then after some period of time it gets fulfilled. I think in this case it worked the other way around, because you said you had this wish yesterday, but this document has been created prior to you having this wish. So it works in the other direction, 0 time.
Yes, well, that's right. Sometimes we just have to have the wish, and then the thing will manifest, whether it's been around before or just manifests at that moment. It shows up at the right time, let's say. So I think it was very timely for me. Good example of you get what you wish for. So thank you.
You're welcome.
It'd be nice to get this on the keshefoundation.org website.
I will give you a hint, Rick. Ask Ella for the other one, which is not going public. It will serve you even better.
Right. Okay.
It's already done.
Okay. On that note, I think you're about to wrap things up here, Caroline.
Yes, I think we have to before we have to restart. We got 5 minutes left. Just jumped in to say goodbye to everybody. See you next time. See you in the private classes. Everything is starting up fresh again this week. Wish you a beautiful journey, full of wishes, but full of questions too. Let your heart desire and create. I am present in all your wishes, and thank you for being present in all my wishes, my command.
I am present. Thank you very much for your presence here today, Caroline, and the presence of everyone that's been able to hear these teachings and participate in them. And this has been the 49th One Nation, One Planet, One Race for World Peace. And thank you everybody for being here. And I think that will wrap it up for today. We're going to have an ending video with Flint here. And thank you. Bye-bye for now.
Hello. We are the Keshe Foundation. Our mission is to bring peace on Earth and join humanity with the universal community. We wish and work to man as equal to all beings in the universe. By teaching plasma science and technology equally to everyone, no one is left out and no one is abused due to lack of knowledge. By donating to us, you can help achieve this goal. keshefoundation.org/donate.
The KF Wiki, the free plasma cyclopedia of the Keshe Foundation, is now available in every language. The wiki helps us to work together around the globe on one document to experience the feeling of working as one soul for one purpose, bringing the plasma knowledge as a gift to mankind. The wiki is built from knowledge seekers for knowledge seekers. Start typing in www.kfwiki.org. At the landing page, you can select your preferred language. If you click on English, you see the existing version in English language, and you can make yourself a picture about what is available currently. Feel free to navigate and collect ideas for your own wiki in your own language, and keep in mind that every language receives its own wiki with its own domain. You can not only translate the current version, you can build up collectively your own content, which can then be translated back into English again. If you go back to the landing page, click on one of the language buttons, and you can start today translating the existing English version into your mother language and prepare plasma knowledge for your country. Currently, you see two new languages, German and Arabic. By clicking on it, you still see English content. It's a copy of the English version. This makes it easier for you to translate, and you can start translating directly using the built-in visual editor. In the next days, we will activate language wikis for French, Spanish and Italian language. If you would like to help to translate the KF Wiki into your mother language and build up new content, write an email to wiki@spaceshipinstitute.org, and we will bring you together with the existing language wiki groups. And if not done yet, we will activate your new language wiki link. Start today preparing plasma knowledge in your mother language. Let's bring together the plasma knowledge as a gift to mankind.